Hi, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 81. I'm Lisa, your host, also known as Fiber Nymph on Ravelry and on Plurk. Welcome and Happy New Year! It has been almost a month since I recorded last, which is incredible because it seems like it hasn't been that long, but it has. I really hope to have gotten to record one other time in December, but right after I recorded last time, December just kind of exploded all over me, and that didn't happen. So here I am in the new year, January 3rd, and we're just going to start from here. Let me say hello to the people who have introduced themselves on the 90% Knitting board in the welcome thread since the last time I recorded. Sarah from South Carolina, Heather from Kentucky, Betty from California, Barbara from New York, Lisa from British Columbia, Lori from Michigan, Joe from Australia, Deborah from Oklahoma, and Clara from China. Welcome. Thank you all for introducing yourselves. Okay. Before I go any further, let me just say, because I know somebody will ask, what I'm wearing is the Croci, C-R-O-C-I, cardigan designed by Cosette Cornelius Bates of Cozy Makes or Cozy Knits. I can't remember which name her business uses. Anyway, Cozy is a dyer and designer from the Pittsburgh area. I know her fairly well. She's a friend. We do indie knit and spin stuff together. Anyway, I test knit this for her a couple of years ago, and it's done out of hand spun, which the fiber was from Briar Rose Fibers, so it's BFL. It was a lot of fun to do. I ended up actually knitting it twice, I think, to get the gauge right. But it turned out cool. It's only got 3 buttons, and you can't, well, no, I guess it has more. Here, I'll show you. There, 4 buttons. Okay. And it's short sleeved, which, I don't know. It's warm, though. It's really, really warm because it's a heavier weight yarn. I think I spun it to be like a heavy worsted, which is not my usual weight that I spin. I tend to spin finer yarns. So this was actually a challenge for me to do this. I think that's why I had gauge issues. Okay, so that's what I'm wearing. Let me just give you a brief recap of what's been going on in life in the last month. That might just be the easiest place to start because I know a lot of you, if you're friends with me on Plurk or on Facebook, you've probably heard bits and pieces of what's been going on. So let me just get you up to speed. All right, so I recorded last, I think, on, December 9th. That week, my husband was set to have his surgery, his sinus reconstruction surgery or whatever. And he did that Thursday, the 13th. It went fine. The doctor said he had never seen anything quite like that. It was like navigating the Burma Road. So it was really messed up, but he got it fixed. He's still in the recovery mode. It'll probably be another 2 or 3 weeks before everything's completely healed up there, and we'll really be able to tell how much benefit he got from it. He seems to be doing better at night. He's sleeping a little bit better. He's not quite as bad with the twitchy and stopping breathing stuff, but he's still doing it, and that's really annoying because then I can't sleep. I really wish I had a more comfortable couch. I could just go out on the couch some nights, but I don't. So yeah, sleep is one of those elusive things these days. I just tend to stay up really late. Like I'll stay up till 3 or 4, and he usually gets up like at 5:30, especially if it's a work day. So we don't have to be in bed together at the same time for very long. And usually by then I'm tired enough that I'll sleep through anything. You do what you have to do. Anyway, 13th, he had his surgery. The 14th, while he's in major recovery mode, that was the day of the Connecticut school shooting. And around 1 o'clock that afternoon, we get a text from my mother-in-law saying, "Hey, are you watching this on the news?" And the reason she texted that was because Kevin's cousin was the principal of that school. And so, obviously, if you followed the news, you know, she was one of the first people killed. And that was just a very surreal event because for something like that to happen anyway, and to actually know someone involved in it, let alone have it be a fairly close family member, it's just a little surreal. And especially when you're not getting any actual information and everything you're getting is through the news. It was the weirdest day and just very hard because he felt like crap anyway. And you know, I don't handle those things overly well, just from the standpoint I don't know how to deal with them. I mean, it's not like you have a lot of experience. So I was just trying to be supportive of him, and I just felt horrible because that's such a loss. We will really miss Dawn. She was an incredible woman, and I can totally see her doing what she did to try to stop that guy. Anyway, so that kind of started off the rest of our holiday season really bizarre. Because I was supposed to be going down to North Carolina that following week, leaving that Wednesday, the 19th, and Kevin and the kids were going to be home. Well, because he was still recovering, right? That Wednesday came, and I made my way to the airport to fly to North Carolina. He got in the car with his mom and drove to Connecticut for the funeral stuff. So the two teenagers were home here by themselves, holding down the fort, taking care of the pets, and going over and checking on the grandfather every day. Everybody did fine. My kids are really responsible, and I'm so thankful for that. So we never really have any qualms about leaving them by themselves. So anyway, it was just weird because we're like in different areas, and it's right before Christmas. And I'll tell you what, at that point, it was like Christmas was the last thing I was thinking about. It was very hard to be in a Christmas kind of mood to begin with this year just because so much was going on. I knew I was going to be traveling right before, then we had the surgery, then there was the Connecticut thing, and yeah. So anyway, I did get to North Carolina. My son got in from his deployment on time. It was wonderful to see him. And so we were down there 5 days. We drove back the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. On the way home, we did make a stop over in Charlotte to surprise his son. He didn't know he was coming, which was awesome. I loved seeing his face light up and get all excited to see his dad. So we spent a day with him, and then we drove home on the 23rd. And basically, I got out of the car from driving home on the 23rd, and 10 minutes later, I was back in my car going to finish all my Christmas shopping. Oh, yeah. Crazy, crazy. And so then we had Christmas, and it was fine because it was very quiet, very low key, not a lot of running around, actually no running around, which was wonderful. Zach was here through Christmas. He left the next day to go down to Charlotte again, pick up his son. They went down to my mom's in Florida for New Year's, so that was nice. They got to spend some time, prolonged time together. And we basically just hung out. I think Kevin went to work one day between the time he had his surgery and New Year's. Okay, my computer's doing something weird here. Yeah, one day he managed to get into work. And so now he's back to work. Life is sort of getting back to normal, I think, normal schedule. I'm trying. The kids started back to school yesterday, and I have been trying to just be in an organizational mode, trying to set up my schedule through January and into the next couple of months as far as my dying schedule and everything, because I've got a lot going on, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. So that has been what's been going on in my world, and that accounts for why I've not recorded in almost a month. And yeah, so let's move on. Let's talk about knitting, because I did actually get a lot of knitting done. That trip was wonderful for knitting. Lots of knitting time. All right, first thing that you have seen before, is this the one, is the Vanilla Bean sock, the pattern by Emily Locke, who's Ooh Fancy Pants from the Wetcha Swetchin podcast. I finished the first one. And this is knit out of my Bounce base and then the grayscale colorway. I love this sock. It was so much fun to do. You know, those little slip stitches at the color changes are so simple, and yet they make a world of difference on a vanilla sock like that. You know, just changes things up enough. Knitting these on US 1.5s, my standard sock needle, over 60 stitches. And I love it. It went well. I did do the no wrap, no gap heel on this sock that I had done on another pair of socks earlier last year. I'm still not 100% sold on it being my favorite heel, but I like it for stripy socks because you get a nice effect without having to do an afterthought heel, because I just don't like doing afterthoughts. So anyway, first one of these is finished. Another sock that I decided to work on, you have seen this before, but not for a really, really long time, is this one, which was the Manly with a question mark socks. And this is totally just a vanilla sock pattern. I don't know if you remember these. I started this originally for my husband because he wanted socks. And I told him I did not want to do just solid black socks because that was what he had requested. I said I'd rather gouge my eyeballs out than try to knit man-sized socks out of solid black yarn. That would just be torturous. So I found this and I thought, okay, in the ball, here, I'll show you. They look pretty manly. I think this kind of looked like a manly colorway to me. And he looked at it and he's like, it's got purple in it. I'm like, but it's a manly purple. I didn't think it was, all that feminine. It was just too much contrast for him, the stripes and everything. So I put it aside because I'd only had maybe like that much of the cuff done. I set it aside and just thought, I was going to rip it actually and just not do anything with it. But then I wanted to take another sock with me that would be simple and I didn't have to think about it. So the two that I'm designing, those were out of the question because I didn't want to have to think about design work while I was traveling. Got a hair knit into this sock. Anyway, so I picked this up and I just took it with me. And I'm glad I did. The first one's finished. My son is going to wear these, Christopher, the middle one. He's perfectly content and doesn't think they look too girly. So here's close up. It's just perfectly fine. Doing a regular slip stitch heel on this one. I'm doing these over 72 stitches, so it's taking a little longer. And once again, US 1.5s. And this is Lana Grossa Millenvite. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. 100 Party is the yarn. Colorway 5561. That's such an exciting name for a colorway. So first one of these done. So two finished socks, two hose. Two hose. In addition, I have projects that I both started and finished since the last time I recorded. I was looking for something that I could take with me that would be a little more challenging on bigger yarn, but not totally super challenging. And so I had, Emma's like, well, you can make me another hat because she really wants a beret. So I said, okay. So I, brought my Ravelry page up for her and I said, search through the patterns, find something you like. Well, every single one of the ones she picked had some sort of technique or stitch or something that I'm not overly familiar with. But we did finally land on this. And I haven't blocked it yet, which is why it's still got its ends hanging out. But this is the Bramble Beret, not to be confused with the Brambles Beret, which is another one that I knit a while back. This pattern is by Courtney Kelly, and it actually was in the Vintage Modern Knits book, which is the book that had the pattern for the Bridget cardigan that I made to take to Rhinebeck last year. So, and actually it was by the same designer as well, Courtney Kelly. So I feel excited. I got to actually knit two patterns out of that book. So yay me. Anyway, this was fine. I ended up dubbing it Emma's Bobble Hat from Hell because the motifs it's cabled, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out how best to show this to you because it's variegated, it's not showing up spectacularly. Let's see. Come on. There we go. All right. So these segments here in between this part of the cable, this is all a bobble. It's only a 3-stitch bobble, and I can't remember what they were calling it because they didn't call it bobbles. I don't know. It adds a nice texture. And then in between here, it's like a double seed stitch. So there's a lot of texture on this hat. I really like how it turned out. I did all of the cabling without a cable needle, which was excellent. I had no trouble doing the bobbles. They just are time consuming. However, it turned out to be a pretty intuitive pattern. Like once I got going, I knew what I needed to do where, and I didn't have to sit there and follow the chart the whole time, which was great. So it ended up being fairly mindless. I did this in the hotel room a lot while watching Doctor Who on my computer. So it was a good one. The only thing I screwed up was the very top because the crown part up here used a different chart, and somehow I got off on my stitch count at the very end. So it does not look exactly the way it's supposed to. I don't care. At that point, I was ready to be done with the hat. It looks fine. It just doesn't flow quite the way it was supposed to. I think once it's opened up, once it's blocked, it'll probably look a little bit better. But I'm happy with it as it is, and so is Emma. Like I said, it just needs to be blocked. I haven't blocked anything. I still have, it's sitting back here, a big pile of blocking, that lava flow cowl and that cabled headband and the scarf that I wove, or scarf-ish thing that I wove. They all need to be blocked. So this will be added to the blocking pile. I used Malabrigo Rios. Emma picked the yarn, and this was the Solace colorway, which I love. This is a beautiful colorway. It reminds me of like a deep sea kind of colorway. And I knit this on US 5s for the ribbed band and 7s for the body. I started out on 8s, and the pattern just wasn't really, or wait, you know what? I may be wrong about that, because I think I wrote 7s in my project page, but then I went up to 8s. That's what it was. So I used 8s on this. I'll have to change that on my project page. It was really hard to do the bobbling with the 7s. It was just too tight. So that's why I did go up to 8s. So, and it worked great. So I'm very happy with this. And hopefully Emma will enjoy it too. And it's a superwash wool, so unlike the last beret I knit her, that she shrunk in the wash, and then I had to reknit a second one, that won't be an issue. So, okay, that one was started and finished on the trip. Another one that was started and finished was a little shawlette, which again has also not been blocked. This is the Litla, a little shawl, by Larissa Brown. And I thought of doing this one because Melissa from Meltran Designs, who has the Knitting Corner podcast on YouTube, she had just knit this not long ago, and she knitted out of some yarn that I sent her as a prize, or from a drawing on the podcast a while back. And it was actually some hand spun that I had done, not my own fiber, but that's what she used to make hers. And so I thought, oh, that's awesome, because I've got this whole shelf of hand spun yarn over here that I just don't use that often. I love it, but it seems like I can never find a project that suits the yardage that I want to do in whatever color. But this one I had, and this fiber I spun up, I'm sorry, my nose is itchy now. I spun this up in 2009. It was the first Tour de Fleece that I did, that I participated in after I got my wheel. And so the group that I was a part of at that time, that I was participating with, we were doing spinning challenges during Tour de Fleece based on album covers, and we were supposed to spin stuff to represent the album art. So this was actually my Creep Show spinning, which Creep Show, I don't remember what the name of the album was now. I know Zombies Ate Her Brains was one of the songs on it. But anyway, the colors were pretty good and pretty representative. This fiber was from Serendipitous U, EWE, what the heck's it called? Happenstance Roving. I don't know what the fiber is. I remember it being a little sticky, clingy to itself as I was spinning it, but it's pretty soft knit up. So I'm going to say maybe it was merino. I couldn't find any information about it on Ravelry, and I've long since lost the tag for it. But it was really fun to do. And as I was spinning it, I spun in, you can see the purple bits that are in it. Those are actually just mohair locks that I was flicking open and just adding as I went. So it turned out great. I love knitting with it. I'm really happy with how the shawl turned out. The only thing I did differently with the pattern than the way it's written is I made it larger because I wanted to use as much of the hand spun as I could. I still have probably 100 yards of it left, but I would say I used maybe about 260 yards of a worsted weight, and I believe I used US 9s, but I kept going with the stockinette section. I did it large enough to do 6 extra repeats of the lace edging, so, and it worked out fine. And this, again, even when I got to the lace edging, it was very intuitive, so not a lot of thinking. I finished this on the drive home. So this too needs to be blocked. I'm very happy with it. Okay, so that has been my knitting since the last time you saw me. I did finish up some spinning too. Remember this? Okay, don't know what that is. I finished up this fiber, which was also, oh no, not serendipitous. It was the Dying Art Superwash Merino in the Sunrise colorway. I finished that up after Christmas. I just sat down and did the other half, plied it together. I'm really kind of happy with it. It hasn't been soaked yet. It's really soft and squishy. And it's really pretty well balanced. So it's not a true gradient, although I split the yarn. I didn't split it vertically. I actually just cut it in half. Well, didn't cut it. I pulled it in half because it was sort of dyed like double. So when you got to halfway through, the colors repeated in the opposite direction. So I essentially did that. And so I've got some Barbara poling where they meet, but largely I think it'll be sort of gradient-y. I can't wait to knit something out of it because I think it'll be fun. And I absolutely love these yellows that are in it. They're just so rich and warm and yummy. I love yellow. And it's funny because yellow is like the one color that does not sell well in my shop. Anytime I do like semi-solids and stuff, the yellows will sit there forever. Eventually somebody will get them. Somebody like me who loves the yellows. But anyway, so I'm happy to have that done. I got about 240 yards. I didn't use my reps per inch tool, so I'm not 100% sure how heavy the yarn is. I'm going to guess it's probably like a heavy sport, light DK. That would be my best estimated guess. Actually, I did start spinning something else. I didn't bother bringing it in. I'll show it to you next time. But it's from Unwind. It's one of her kaleidoscope bats. So I'm working on that. You can see that next time. Hopefully I'll have some progress or be done with it. Alright, moving on. New things. I did go shopping while I was away. Hold on, I need a drink. Went shopping in North Carolina to my favorite little yarn shop that's down there, the Salty Sheep, which is in Swansboro. Their shop is awesome. Just love their shop. And I go there every chance I can when I'm down there. I was really well behaved because there's been times I've walked out of there with like 2 big bags of yarn. But I told my daughter, I texted her, I'm like, I'm going to the Salty Sheep. And she's like, oh no. She's like, just remember you have to be able to fit this stuff in the car on the way home. So she kept me in check. I fed my Rios addiction. I picked up a couple more colors. I figured I'd just knit with one. I can replace it, right? So there's this one, which is the Lotus colorway, number 120. Which I think is divine. And I picked up a green one, which is Fresco y Seco, which I have no idea what that means. Sounds Spanish, right? So I love that one too. All right, so I got those, and then I stopped. Okay, I picked up 2 skeins of Tundra, which is by the Fiber Company, and it is 60% baby alpaca, 30% merino, 10% silk, 120 yards per skein. It's a bulky weight, which I don't do a lot with bulky weight, but I really like it. And they had a sample set of mittens there, which I did not pick up the pattern for, but it was a nice mitten that just had a cable going straight up the center of the back. And so I'll probably try to do something like that. I bought enough to do both mittens and, you know, a hat or a cowl. I'll probably do a cowl, not a hat, because I don't wear hats much. But anyway, I bought 2 skeins of that. I thought the blue was just really, really pretty. So I've got those. And then lastly, this is another thing that seems to be becoming a collection for me. Also by the Fiber Company is Road to China Light, which, let's see, can you see it? Oh, not so much. Okay, this basket right here is full of Road to China Light that I keep just picking up. I've got a lot of single skeins, and then I've got a few like double or triple skeins of colors. Have yet to actually make anything out of it, but I will eventually. And in case you're not familiar with it, the yarn is called Sapphire, and it has 60, oh, I guess that's the colorway, I'm sorry. It's Road to China Light, Sapphire colorway. 65% baby alpaca, 10% cashmere, 10% camel, and 15% silk. And it is a fine yarn, a fingering weight yarn, which is part of the reason I haven't done anything with it, because I would really like to make a sweater of some sort with a lot of different colors, like do some color work. I just haven't decided what. I originally thought I might try to modify the Shalom Cardi and make it out of this, but I'm not sure that I have it in me to have to do all that math to modify. So I'll find something, but I got 4 skeins, and it will become something at some point. All right, let me shove these back in the bag. So that was the only yarn I purchased while I was away. Like I said, I behaved. I'm trying to, you know, stash down, not stash up, and I've been doing pretty well. I actually have maybe have a couple other things that have come in the mail that I haven't pulled out. Oh, my Tempted Fiber Club fiber came the last time, and I don't have it sitting here with me. Let me make a note. I'll talk about that next time. You've probably already seen it on other podcasts at this point, but that's one of the other new things that came. Oh, and the other new thing is I bought a piddle loop bag. I haven't bought any bags from Jen for a while, but she had these awesome chickens. I think she called them fat stupid chickens or something. I just thought they were really cute, and I love chickens. Because what's not to love about fat stupid chickens? So it's one of her large wedge bags, which are great. They're an awesome size. You can fit a lot in there. So, new bag. Okay, that's all my new stuff. Okay, a newsy kind of item. The last time I recorded, I showed you stitch markers by Obsidian Ruby, and I said I was going to be reviewing those because that's what she sent them to me for. I will be reviewing those, just not today, because I did not use them on any of these projects. I should have. It just didn't cross my mind to take them with me when I was packing because I was thinking about too many other things. So I will review those, but her coupon code is still good in her Etsy shop. Again, the shop is called Obsidian Ruby, one word, and the code is 10% off, and you it's 90% knitting. So 90, the number, and then percent with capital P, knitting with a capital K, all one word. And that will remain active. I think she said there isn't an expiration date on it. So if you want to check out her shop, please do. She's got lots of stitch markers, and she has some really cool jewelry as well. Okay, moving on to knit-alongs. I am temporarily, at least, going to discontinue the quickie knit-alongs. I know a lot of you really like them. I enjoyed them too. They were fun because they were kind of a different sort of knit-along. But we've been doing them for about 2 years now, and I feel like it's time to do something different. I just haven't completely decided what that different thing is going to be. I want to keep it sort of along those same lines, something small, something doable. But I want it to be something different. So I'm just suspending those for a while. I did not put up a new thread. I did close the November-December one because that ended up being put together. I closed everything that I was supposed to close at the end of December like a day late. So there may be a couple people who got to enter things a little later than I had originally said, but I'm not worrying about it because it was my fault they didn't get closed, so I'm not going to penalize someone else. Anyway, so the November-December one's closed. I did not open a new thread. I am going to do the drawing in just a little bit, along with a bunch of other drawings. It's a major drawing day here today on 90% knitting. But first, let me talk about a knit-along that I am going to be co-sponsoring, and I'm really excited about this. I'm not sure. Well, actually, I just mentioned her to you a little bit ago when I was talking about the Litla shawl. Is Melissa, not Melanie, Melissa Transtrom, who is a designer, and she also just started the podcast, The Knitting Corner, recently, which I believe is only on YouTube right now. I don't think she's up on iTunes. But her design company name is Meltran Designs. And this is her Die Erste, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Die Erste shawl pattern, which was recently published. And it's really cute. If you go on Ravelry, you can see several of them that are finished. It's a nice long shawl. Anyway, she approached me and asked if I would like to co-sponsor a knit-along with her. And I said, absolutely, because I think her designs are so much fun. She's got a bunch of other designs out, but this was, I think, her first shawl that she's done. And that's what it means, the first. Oh, here, she has pronunciation. Die Erste. Die erste. So anyway, we are going to be doing a knit along for this pattern. And it's kind of like, you know, you probably did a lot of knitting for other people. I didn't this year for the holidays, but a lot of people do, you know, a lot of gift knitting and everything. And so by this time of the year, it's time to knit something for yourself. So we thought, cool, this could be, you know, something you can knit for yourself. And so she has the pattern, and I'm going to be doing yarn. In my next couple of updates, I'm going to be doing an update on January 11th, and then on January 25th, and one on February 15th. As of now, those are my first 3 updates of this year. We're going to run this knit along from now through the end of February, so you've got 2 months to work on it. And if you want to get yarn from me for it, that would be great. If you have other yarn that you want to use, that would be awesome too. It takes fingering weight yarn, and it's written in 2 different sizes. So you can do a smaller one that takes about 330 yards, or a larger one that takes about 700 yards. And it's written for a light fingering weight yarn. So I will be putting up a lot of semi-solids in the shop in the next updates. Hopefully some variegateds as well. I don't know if I will get to do any gradients. That'll just be time dependent. However, I'm planning to do a special colorway just for this knit along, and I'm going to be doing that by pre-order. We haven't hammered out the details of that quite yet. At this point, I'm thinking I'll probably put a limited number of pre-orders up for the knit along yarn on the update on the 11th. That'll be part of that. It will be a limited number, probably no more than 30. And I will get them sent out within probably 2 weeks after that, definitely by the end of January. So you'll still have all of February to knit the shawl if you so choose to do the knit along. So that's what's coming up. Please watch the Fiber Nymph Dye Works board on Ravelry, the group. I will have a thread in there talking about the knit along. I'll also cross post some of it to the 90% knitting board, since it's a knit along that I'm inviting you to on the podcast. Yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to PM me. We're still, honestly, we're doing this kind of by the seat of our pants right at this moment in time. We've been talking about it loosely over the holidays, but, you know, the holidays were kind of crazy, so we didn't really get it all hammered out. But we want to get it started. So hang with us, and as I have solid information, I will post it in the groups. But I hope you'll take part. I think it'll be fun. I'm hoping to take part. Obviously, I have my pattern. It is a paid pattern on Ravelry, so go check that out. And like I said, she's just a sweetheart, and her patterns are wonderful. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I hope you'll join us. Okay, drawings. We're going to do the drawings now. And I'm going to click around here because I need to do the random number generator to do this. The first one, I have to tell you though, I apologize completely. The last time I recorded, I was supposed to announce the winner of the November Unclub contest, the colorway contest that we were doing in the Fiber Nymph Dye Works group. It totally slipped my mind. And I have no other excuses. It just was an organizational oversight. I didn't have it in my show notes for whatever reason. Actually, I may have had it in my show notes and just overlooked it. I don't remember. But several of you noticed that I did not announce that. And I had full intentions of recording later that week and just doing like a short little addendum kind of recording, because I also forgot to do, something else. What was it? Maybe the November Quickie Knit Along thing. And so then, like I told you, December exploded on me right after that with everything going on, the surgery in Connecticut and all that stuff. So I never got to record again. And over the holidays, I just didn't have it in me to do it. I worked very little over the holidays, and it was awesome. I know, I keep saying awesome. It was incredible. It was fabulous. I needed that time off. I just did. I was spent from a crazy, crazy busy year. But this has been wonderful. So anyway, I'm going to start out by letting you know that the winner of the November Unclub contest, let me get there first. because it was, how many people did we have enter? Why am I not finding it? Oh, here it is. Okay. There were 13, so there were 12 entries. And a couple of them were really close in the voting, but when I finally tallied them up, the winner was from post number 9, which was by Lala, who is Laura from the Knit Girls. She posted post number 9. It's a picture of her and Leslie and a bunch of their friends, Karen and Lynn Zim and Stephen S.O. Waters and Diane from Knittables and a couple other people. I'm sorry, I'm rambling with the names now. I hate to say names on the podcast because I inevitably miss somebody. Anyway, the theme was warmth, and you were supposed to, post a picture that you thought embodied the theme of warmth. And this picture of this group of friends at Rhinebeck with the pretty leaves behind it, very warm colors, but she wrote underneath it warmth of friendship, which is definitely very much the case with this group of people. So congratulations, Laura. I'm really glad that I'm going to get a chance to create a colorway based on this. And that's going to be a challenge because there are a ton of colors in this picture. I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to do this. But here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm running late on this anyway, I'm going to work on the colorway, and I will try to have some of it at least in the shop update on the 25th of January. Hopefully I can get it all up on the 25th. We'll see. But that will be the first it will be in there. It will not be in the update on the 11th. At any rate, I am not going to start another unclubbed thread until February. So you're going to have to hang on for that. I will do another one, but not until February. Just got to space these things out a little bit. It's a little overzealous when I first started doing this, thinking I could do them every other month. That's just so not happening. Okay, so that is the one announcement that I am very tardy in making, and again, I apologize. The second one is the Quickie Knit Along drawing. I never did the November one, so I ended up just combining November and December because there weren't a lot of entries for November to begin with. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do one drawing for the posts that went up in November, which there was numbers 2 through 13, so that was, what, 12 posts for November, 12 entries. And then I'll do the ones for December, which were posts 16 through 30. So there'll be one winner for each month, as there would have been anyway. I'm just doing them at the same time. So let me get to that, and we will do that. Different group. Okay, November and December Quickie Knit Along thread. Alrighty. So we will do November 1st, and that was posts number 2 through 13. Correct? That's what I said. Let me just double check. Yes, 2 through 13. And the winner is number 3. So let's see who that was. Number 3 is Alita Casey, who is Alita from Arizona. And she posted a picture of the round dishcloth that we did quite a while ago, but it's an awesome project, and she did it in a very Thanksgiving-y colored yarn, which was very appropriate. So Alita, congratulations. Please contact me, PM me, and I will arrange to get a prize to you. I'm doing the prizes for these kinds of drawings now. I want to talk to the person before I choose something to send them, because I don't know about you, but anytime, not that I win prizes very often, but sometimes you win a prize randomly like this, and it's not something that you'll actually use. And I hate to send something to someone that maybe isn't their cup of tea. So I would rather hear from you, have me tell you, like what weight of yarn you like to knit with, what colors are your more preferred colors, or if you prefer fiber, if you're a spinner, and I can find something from my stash that will suit you. More better. Me, good with the words. Better than just randomly finding something and sending it to you and having it sit in your stash forever. So anyway, Alita Casey, you are the winner for the November Quickie Knit Along thread or contest. November Cal. Okay, so now we'll do December. Let me get to the right spot here. So that was post 16 through 30. Yes, 16 through 30. Okay, the website is freaking out on me. And that is post number 17. I swear this random number generator is crazy sometimes. Okay, and that one is PP Mom of 3, who is Rebecca from Miami. So Rebecca, congratulations. She posted a yarn basket ornament. This was for the Christmassy themed knit along, where it was kind of your choice of patterns. And it's really super cute. It's like this little tiny basket with itty bitty little balls of yarn and tiny little knitting needles stuffed in it. So adorable. So congratulations to you, Rebecca. Again, same thing. PM me on Ravelry and we can talk and find a prize for you that you will enjoy. All right, so that takes care of all of the drawings that I'm tardy on from the past. All right, so now let's move on. I need to do the year-end stash dive drawing. Okay, this was so much fun watching you guys post pictures of things that you were knitting up from your stash. I mean, I know I've been having a lot of fun knitting from my stash. I just wasn't doing it quite as voluminously as you've been doing it. But it's awesome. I mean, isn't it fun to go into your stash? You find things that you obviously loved when you bought them, and then they sit there and they don't get used, or you're saving it for something special or whatever. We all do that. But it's so much fun to just knit it up and make something out of it. So it's been fun to watch these projects. There were 468 entries in this, and I decided I'm going to do 3 prizes since there were so many people. And again, this is going to be winners. Please contact me and we'll find out something that you would like and I will ship it to you out of my stash. So see, I get the double bonus of being able to de-stash to you for knitting with your stash. All right, so we're going to do post 2 through 468 and I'm going to do 3 of them. Let me get to the right page first. Okay, so 2 through 468. All right, I'm gonna generate. Number 240. I'm gonna generate all 3, then I'll look to see who they are. 240, 412, and 296. So let me go see who all those people are. 240, I'm guessing on the pages. This may take a little while. Okay, 240 should be on this page. 240, oh, that's so cute, is Tam Cam Wham. That's Loretta from Singapore. All right, so let me write that down. Tam Cam Wham. And she posted a picture of the Archer Mystery Cow. It was a crochet along from stash and leftovers. And it's just such a cute little stuffed puppy dog. Oh my gosh, he's adorable. So congratulations to you, Loretta. I don't know why I'm writing this down because all I need is the number and I could go back and look, but I like having it written down. All right, so you are winner number 1 for the year-end stash down drawing. So now let me find number 2. That's number 412. I'm going to guess that's maybe around there. One more. Okay, 412. 412 is BJ Holly, who is Bonnie. And she knit up a pair of socks. Let's see, I just finished these Christmas socks in time for Christmas with yarn that's been in my stash since June. And that's been gotten in a she had gotten in a D-stash. Not the oldest in her stash, but it's been hanging around just the same. And it looks like she did the vanilla bean pattern. They look really cute. They're 2 different greens and a red. They're awesome. So alrighty, BJ Holly, you are winner number 2 for for the year-end stash down drawing. So please PM me, Bonnie, and I will find you something. Okay, last winner is number 296. Nope, too far. Okay, 296. 296 is Angela 678. And that is Angela from Canada. Congratulations. And she knit a pair of little short socks that she knit out of leftover yarn from 2 different colors. And it looks like Noro sock yarn, just the way the colors are kind of flowy and everything. And they're really cute, even if they were from 2 different colorways. They look great. So way to use your stash there, Angela. So please contact me. I will find you a prize that you would like and will use, and I'll get that shipped out to you. So thank you guys so much for participating in that. That was a lot of fun. I loved watching these patterns. And I'll tell you what, my queue has grown tremendously from looking at all these patterns that you guys knit for this. Oh my gosh, every time I'm finding cute things all over the place, adding them to my big lineup of things that I will never ever in my whole lifetime get to knit. But, you know, fun just the same. Okay, the last drawing, and I'm doing this before I get to the shop news part, just because this is kind of the drawing segment of the show, so I'm just going to do it now. But it's the 4th quarter drawing for the Fiber Nymph Dye Works finished objects, and we had 34 entries this time. So I'm going to do that, and the prize for that is always a $25 gift certificate for my shop, which you can either use during a shop update if you go ahead of time and look and see what's up there during preview mode and get in touch with me. I will set it aside for you and adjust the price to take that $25 off so you can purchase it. Or you can use it for a special order. It kind of automatically entitles you to place a special order with me. Yeah, those are the main 2 ways to do that. So let me click over there and we will do that drawing. I always love seeing things knit up out of my yarn. It's just a lot of fun. I did also, just to let you know, there is the 1st quarter thread up now for 2013. So go ahead and start posting anything that you knit out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works yarn, spin out of Fiber Nymph Dye Works fiber, or knit out of fiber that you've spun. Any of those 3 things qualify you. Remember, it's a no chatter thread, so just post your picture, 1 picture per item, and that's your entry. So let's see. The 4th quarter thread, again, had 34 entries. So I'm going to do 2 through 35. And it was number 19. So let's see who number 19 was. That would be on the 1st page. Number 19 is Knittin' Girl, Christy from North Carolina. So congratulations, Christy. She posted a pair of socks knit out of Bounce in the Finders Keepers colorway. They're called Circle Socks. And she said her first Fiber Nymph Dye Works and her first stripy socks, and they look great. So congratulations, Knittin' Girl. Christy, please get in touch with me on Ravelry again, and you can let me know what you want to do with your $25. It's there. It doesn't expire, so it's up to you. So I'm excited. I am. I love it. That's great. The socks look wonderful. It's one of my favorite colorways that I do. All right, I think that takes care of all the drawings. My goodness, we are drawing it out today. That actually is the end of everything I had to tell you knitting-wise. I feel like I've talked a lot about stuff already, so I don't really have a whole lot to tell you in 10%. I told you what we did over the holidays and all the December craziness. I will just say I'm trying to use my time more efficiently this year. That is like, I don't do reservations. I have reservations about resolutions. I don't do official resolutions, but there are certain things that I just, you know, in an effort to improve myself, I guess, I just try to do. And one of the big things right now, in all manner of speaking, is I just need to use my time better because there are a lot of things I want to do. I enjoy getting out of this house, because let me tell you, when you work at home and you're a stay-at-home mom who's homeschooling, you're home a lot. And so it's become really important to me to have time to get out and be social and just get out of my house. And that is a huge priority for me at this point in my life, but not at the detriment of the other things that I need to do. So I need to make better use of my time during the day while I'm home, getting things done so that I can enjoy some time out and maintain my sanity, which is essentially that. So that's just been one thing that I've really been thinking of lately. Hopefully it'll also help me make the podcast a little bit more streamlined. I'm going to get back to doing a weekly podcast. Come hook or by crook, I'm going to do this because letting these huge gaps go between podcasts, it's just too hard. I've got too much to talk about. These run too long, especially when I do shop update previews at the same time. It's just crazy. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about trying out a different format, whereas instead of doing a regular podcast on the week where I have shop updates, I'm going to do a shop preview update only and shop news those weeks. So that way, there will be a gap in the regular podcast format, but if you want to see the preview, you'll still be able to see that. That's my plan. We're going to see how that works out. Pretty much like anything I do on here, if I try it for a while and it doesn't work, we'll change it to something else or change back. But I think that might be the way to go, because honestly, doing these podcasts, it's a day-long commitment. Planning for it, recording is actually the shortest part. And then, processing and compressing, uploading, making, hoping Blip. And that's the thing, I don't have to sit here the entire time, but I still have to be present and make sure that things are going right, not screwing up. Okay, so that's pretty much my 10%. As far as shop news, the next update will be on the 11th. Like I said, I'm going to make sure that there's a lot of semi-solids and variegateds. I will have my pre-order spots up for the knit-along yarn. Excuse me. Tickle in my throat, sorry. I will do a preview episode before that update. So I'm doing the regular episode this week. Next week it'll just be a preview update. And also, please look for everything in preview mode in the shop, because that's the easiest way to see everything and read the details about everything, more than I could ever tell you on the podcast. Also coming up, just to let you know, I'm going to be vending in February, on February 10th from noon to 5 at Indie Knit and Spin Boutique. Now, you'll remember back in November, I vended at Indie Knit and Spin, which was our second year for doing it. Fabulous local show, a lot of wonderful indie dyers. But we had the opportunity to do a small show, and we wanted it to sort of be along the same lines as Indie Knit and Spin, but we didn't want it to be specifically Indie Knit and Spin again so soon. So this is going to be a much smaller show. I believe there's 5 of us, 5 dyers that will be there. And it's taking place in Pittsburgh, again, a different location. I have all of the information about this in the Fiber Nymph Dye Works on the board there. I actually started a new thread for this. The thread, it's stickied at the top. It says, where can you find Fiber Nymph FDW yarn and fiber? Anytime there's something new going on, whether a vending opportunity that I'll be taking part in, or a new wholesale customer where you can find my stuff, I will post it there. So you'll always be able to find it easier. So there's information there. I also believe I posted information on Facebook on the Fiber Nymph Dye Works page. Please go there. I'll tell you what, this year I'm going to be making use of both the Ravelry board, the Fiber Nymph Dye Works Ravelry board, and our Facebook page a lot to get information out to you. So if you want to stay up to date, those are the best ways to find out information. Because especially if I don't record a regular episode every week, I don't have a way of getting the information to you in a timely manner if I don't post it. So, get in the habit of looking in those 2 places. That's the best way to find information. I'm going to just try to be a lot better about getting stuff up there for you. So the details about that are there. We do have a Facebook page for Indie Knit and Spin. We have a WordPress blog. You can find that pretty easily. I'll link to those. But I hope you can come if you're in the Pittsburgh area and you want something fun to do, because usually that time in February is Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet. Well, that's not till March this year, which I'm also vending at, by the way. So it'll be something fun right around Valentine's Day. Treat yourself. Okay, that's pretty much it. I already mentioned to you that I'm going to be using, the RAV groups and the Facebook page to get you information more often, so please check those out. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to PM me on Ravelry. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyway, until next time, have a wonderful week. Great weekend coming up, and I will see you soon. Take care.